Hello, welcome to Tea with Debbie, and let's talk. I think today what we should talk about is, have you ever been in a feeling of being in the middle of a rock and a hard spot, or you're stuck in a rut? You get a certain feeling that you just can't move forward. You're stuck someplace, you don't know how to get around the situation that you're in, I guess is how I can say it. I say I like to be alone, and I do. I enjoy my space. But on the other hand, I get the lonely feelings so bad. I've been alone for years, and I do like it a lot, but I also miss having somebody close to me, having somebody with me to communicate with, to snuggle up with, or hug and love, and have conversations with, have a nice dinner, go someplace with once in a while. And I was married for a lot of years, and then I was single for a lot of years, and I'm still single. I was married to my first husband for 11 years. We had 5 children. We divorced, and I stayed single for 10 years after that. I remarried, and I was with my second husband for 10 years. Now, this is really, really strange, and it's really hard. I went through a lot with all that, and to explain that is me and my first husband, we stayed friends for the most part because of the kids, and we just always stayed friends. We never became enemies. In fact, he got prostate cancer and he was dying. When he was at the hospital, he asked if he could come home with me and my son Daniel, who was living at home with me at the time, so he wouldn't have to die in the hospital alone. And I was remarried, but him and my second husband, they were friends. They were good friends. They got along. In fact, they got along too good sometimes, I think. But I'm glad they got along. And I brought him home. I had hospice bring him home. And I took care of him until he passed away. I was his hospice nurse. I'm not sorry that I did it. I'm glad I was there for him. He was always there for me. Even though we didn't get along all that great when we were married, we did just great as friends. He died January 22nd of 2002. The man that I was married to, my second husband, in which we had been married to each other for 10 years, but a little bit longer together than that. April 6th of 2002, just 2 months later, from my first husband's death, my second husband passed away in his sleep. He had a brain aneurysm. So I went through pure hell. It was hard, it was painful, it hurt. It took a long time, and I still do grieve about it. But I've been single and on my own ever since 2002. I had a boyfriend for a little while, and we were together just off and on, together most of the time, and then it got to where we just kind of fell apart. And I have children that had problems with dabbling and stuff that they shouldn't have been doing. It caused a lot of problems between me and my boyfriend that I had after my being alone for so long from my husband's passing away. So, now I've lost my train of thought. I do that. I'm sorry. It's part of my health problem. So I'll get there. Anyway, it was tough. Me and my boy that was at home, we struggled really a lot. It was me and him after, the two men were gone. And we had to move into a little studio. It's the best that I could do with what I had. I have older children, but they had their own families, their lives, and their babies, stuff. So I had to take care of things myself. But it was hard. It was really hard. But to go back a little bit, I had a really rough childhood, a very hard childhood. But I learned from being a victim to being a survivor. I always struggled a little bit, but I always survived. I always made it, and I always got by. I worked, and I learned a lot from my two husbands that I was with in my younger years and growing up. I've had my own businesses. I've had my own thrift stores. I've done a lot of things. So I always have kept up on surviving, getting by. That's all I could do, but at least I was able to do that. I'm proud of myself for being a survivor. I do consider myself a survivor. Even from the sad childhood that I had. I still have some issues with my childhood, but it's a lot better than it used to be. I did do some counseling, but I think that I've gotten more out of just taking things day by day. And I have watched videos, self-help videos. I read self-help books. I have support from family and stuff like that. It's not like I was left, just booted out and didn't have anybody. But life really throws people, some people more than others, a big old curveball. And it just seems like you just can't catch it at the right time for things to go smooth for a while. And that's how I have felt a lot. Maybe I'm feeling sorry for myself, but I feel I want to be with somebody, but I'm afraid to be with somebody. As far as a partner, a boyfriend or something, because I don't ever want to get married again. I will never get married again. I don't want to. And you don't need that piece of paper to be with somebody and enjoy life. It's to me, it's not important. I'm a homebody. I've learned to be a homebody probably because of the way things have been or turned out. If I had to do everything all over again, yes, I would, because I'm not sorry about anything. And I have 5 beautiful children. They're not children, they're grown adults now. My oldest son will be 50 in February. My youngest son, I believe he's 37 or 38. So they're grown, but they're still my children, you know what I mean? And I want to be with somebody, but I don't want to be with somebody. It's like I like my freedom, I like my space, I like my own bubble. I don't like to be told what to do. I don't like to feel like I have to do something because I have to look out for somebody, cook them dinner, do their laundry, pick up after them. I can't go anywhere when I want to, or stay home if I want to. There's just a lot goes on when you have somebody else in the picture. And I know there's a lot of you out there that feel the same way. And do you get lonely? Do you wish you had somebody once in a while, just, hang out, do some things together and whatever, and then when it's time to go home, he can go to his house and you get to go back home to yours. You both live your own lives. But I'm afraid to go out and meet anybody. What's wrong with me? I'm 67 and a half, going on 68 now. I'm afraid to meet people. I don't know how to meet people anymore. That's what I have thoughts in my head. I don't know how to meet anybody. I don't know how to get to know anybody anymore. It's weird. When I was young, had no problems. Not with it at all. I could go on dates. I had boyfriends. I had fun. I was sociable. But after all the years of marriage, the years of raising kids and all the stuff that I've been through, it's like, I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff anymore. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm tired. My body's tired and my health is not good. I want to just be me, but yet I still miss company. So I'm between a rock and a hard spot. I'm lonely, but I'm not lonely. I want somebody, but I don't want somebody. And I know I'm the one that has to make up my mind. But I don't go anywhere and I don't do nothing. I stay home. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything. I stay home. I watch TV. I mess with my bird. Now that I've got him, he does keep me busy. But I live in a room, my bedroom. This is my bubble. And this is where I like to stay. This is where I want to be. I feel safe here. There was 8 children in my family. Myself as the oldest, and my brother was the baby. 7 girls and 1 boy, and I've told you guys all this before if you've watched my channel. We had parents that drank all the time. They fought. Us kids lived a hell of a life. We were scared all the time. We knew what to expect when they would come home from the bars. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But that has messed with every single one of us and how we were raised and how we think and how we react to things today. And it's a shame. It really is. And then, my dad's passed away. He died in 2011. He had cancer. My mother's still alive. She's 85. She's in a nursing facility. She has dementia. Not real bad, but somewhat of dementia. She doesn't get around very good. She's very hard to deal with. She's always been a one-way person. She never gave hugs. She never showed any love and affection. So there's, like I said, there's issues throughout all of us kids, some way or another, and there's traits that we have of my mother's, I do myself, that I get angry about. If I find myself, because I have trained myself to watch out and be careful what I say, what I do, how I act or react to people because of my mother. My dad was a good guy. He was a fun guy. He was a lovable guy. Everybody loved my dad. Mom wouldn't let nobody close to her. She never wanted anybody close to her. Not even her kids. So, and I know her childhood life, what she went through. So it carried on with her as a parent herself. I understand all that. And all of you that have issues with your families and people in your home that are going through difficult situations like this, you know what I'm talking about. We all have problems. Nobody goes without problems. There's skeletons in everybody's closet. I guarantee it. So, what are your feelings? I want to know. What do you do? And when you get a certain age, it's harder to find somebody to be compatible with. And then you have to think about your health or the other person's health and what you may have to go through in the future. Things that I've already been through, I don't want to go through again. As far as husbands passing away and the funerals and all, I can't do that no more. When you get older, you are taking on a responsibility. And that's for the man too. I'm not just talking for women. It's for men too. And you're taking on somebody that has a whole lot of baggage because of your age and all the stuff you've been through and what they've been through. And then you try and put families together, and it's just a big mess. That's how I feel too. I see a lot of more not so good things about hooking up with somebody as I see the better side of it. What do you do for fun? Where do you go? Do you like to go out with somebody? Do you like to go out on dates? I know a couple people that I watch their videos, and there's one lady that's maybe a couple years older than me, and she lives by herself, but she gets really lonely. And then she thinks the same thing. Do I really want to put up with somebody in my in my house or in my business? Do I really want to get involved with somebody that heavily? It's just tough. And it's just something that I think about every day, though, because I do get lonely. And my lonely times, my real lonely times, is at night. I go to bed. I have a big queen-size bed, and I sleep by myself. I have a few pillows on my bed, and I talk to my bird now. I wish I had my dog still. To me, a dog is your best friend, and I really miss my dog. But besides that, this is just a conversation of being alone, being older and being alone, being lonely, and do you really know what you want? Do you really want to be with somebody else, or do you really just want to stay alone and maybe go out sometime? How do you cope with things? I wish somebody would tell me the different things. I don't have a car. I do drive. I have my license. I don't really go anywhere though. And I have people telling me to get involved with seniors groups, but I feel funny doing that because there's, up here, I don't feel like I'm going on 68 years old. I don't feel that. So I feel weird going to a seniors center or something like that. I don't feel like I belong there. But my kids try to tell me different sometimes, and I don't know, maybe I'm just in denial. I can't accept it. So these are just my thoughts for today of what do you do, how do you think, how do you handle it. I would appreciate any comments that you have, really. And if you press like and subscribe, it really helps me a lot. If you like my videos or you get anything out of them at all, I can learn from you, and maybe you can learn something from me. I don't know what you're going to learn from me, except that I really like to be alone mostly, but I'm going to complain because I want to be with somebody. So, can't win for losing. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video for now. I love you, and take rest, enjoy your company. Try to find somebody new if that's what you want. Thanksgiving's coming. We got a lot to look forward to. And I thank God for everything that I have. I'm grateful. I really am. And all the things that I've been through in my whole life, everything from the day I can remember back to 4 or 5 years old, all the way up to now, it just made me stronger. It made me who I am. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of what I've learned. My dad mainly taught me how to be a survivor. He was always in that mental state of being a survivor and doing what had to be done to live and get by and do what we had to do. We were a big family. It was tough. But we did make it. Most of the time, like I said, it was us kids on our own because they were always out drinking or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to get off of this subject. I'm going to close for now. I would like some input if you would please do so. Be kind to one another. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I'll probably say it again the next time I make a video. I love you all. Take care. Be safe. Have fun. Smile. Bye-bye for now.